Welcome to Coach's Corner, everyone. Thank you for watching this show. Every Monday night, we do the Goode and Faithful Servant episode. We're on episode 54 as we deep dive into my old teammate, Kerry Goode's book, Goode and Faithful Servant. And he, as you know, probably has ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, cannot move a muscle. But he blinks his words into the computer AI technology, spits it out in his own voice. I'm just the moderator. I just ask the questions. This is Kerry's show, man. He is wisdom filled. I hope you enjoy this episode. This is brought to you by Sandy Sansing Chevrolet. Go see the fine folks here in Pensacola, Milton, or over in Foley in Baldwin County. Let's dive into it. Let's go. It's day 145, and Kerry breaks up his book into chapters, 196 days. And this is an interesting subject. Title is Love Is. I might not be a smart man, but I do know what love is. A quote from Forrest Gump. I grew up in a generation where grown men didn't say, I love you. They would show it, but you would never hear it. I don't pretend to know what love is for everyone, but I can tell you what it is for me. Love is sharing someone's pain when they're sick. Love is helpless feeling you get when you can't do anything to help. Love is, I know you screwed up, but I still believe in you. Love is, you made a mistake, but I'm still here. Love is like an hourglass with the heart filling up as the brain empties. When someone asks, what do you see in that person? And your answer is everything. That's right. Love is knowing all about someone and still wanting to be with them more than any other person. Love is trusting them enough to tell them anything and everything about yourself, including the things you might be ashamed of. Love is feeling comfortable and safe with someone, but still getting weak knees when they walk into a room and smile at you. It is love that makes the impossible possible. But I have learned this while being paralyzed. Love is when the passion and romance has disappeared and you still have a deep feeling for that person. Love conquers all sins. Just ask Jesus. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 through 13 says, quote, and now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Okay, KG, we're going to dive into it deep. Thanks for coming back after spring break. There's my first question for you, buddy. Great to be back with you. Let's dive into the most important topic that we can ever cover. Love. It is transformational. Everything else is transactional. Love is intentional, selfless, and other-centered. Let's expound on the sentence you used in this chapter. Quote, what do you see in that person? And their answer is everything. Unquote. Being in love allows you to be an open book. You don't hide, sneak, lie, admit, or twist your story. I think love falls apart when you hide your true self and cannot talk about the hard subjects. What do you think, KG?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back from spring break. I hope y'all are refreshed, renewed, and fully recovered from whatever you told your doctor, your pastor, and your group chat you were doing last week. Oh, it is good to be back in the chair with you. Let us talk about love before somebody in the audience gets convicted and starts sweating. Now, when I said that line about someone asking what you see in a person and the answer being everything, I meant it. That is the kind of love where you look at somebody and your brain shuts off like a cheap motel lamp. You stop thinking clearly, you stop making sense, and you start defending that person like they are the last biscuit at a Southern family reunion. Being in love turns you into an open book, but not a regular book. No, you become one of those books with the pages already highlighted, sticky notes everywhere, and the cover halfway ripped off. You are exposed. You are vulnerable. You are telling stories you swore you were taking to the grave. You are confessing things you forgot you did. You are out here saying things like I used to have a J. Harry curl and I am not proud of it. Love falls apart when people start hiding. That is when the trouble begins. You start sneaking around like you are in a spy movie, except you are not smooth or slick. You are just suspicious. You start omitting details like you are editing a crime report. You start twisting your story like you are auditioning for a soap opera, and then you wonder why the relationship feels like a folding chair with one loose screw. Love cannot survive in the dark. It needs light. honesty, and the courage to say the hard stuff. You have to be able to sit down and say things like, listen, I love you, but the way you choose spiritually disturbing, or I love you, but if you leave one more dish in that sink, I am calling the authorities. That is real love. Love is not fragile. Pride is fragile. Ego is fragile. Secrets are fragile. Love is built like an old school Buick, heavy, durable, and able to survive potholes, storms, and foolishness. So yes, oh, I agree. Love collapses when people hide, but when you show up fully, flaws and all, love becomes the safest place on earth. And if you are lucky enough to find someone who sees everything in you and still chooses you, hold on tight. That is rare. That is sacred. And that is hilarious because they know the truth about you and still said, I am staying. Now let us keep this show rolling.
Wow. Love turns you an open book, torn, old, highlighted with sticky notes everywhere. The cover is torn off. You are exposed, vulnerable, blind. Love is blind, right? To faults. Love is blind, not to the facts. Confessing things you forgot you did, talking stuff you thought you would take to the grave. Pride is fragile. Ego is fragile. Secrets are fragile. You got to have courage to say the hard stuff. Love is the safest place on earth, KG says. Wow. You want to hear more wisdom, check his Facebook post out, especially the one from this morning, from today. Outstanding. All right, KG, here's my second question for you, and it's a doozy. Carrie, help us understand why love is greater than faith or hope.
Now, Paul, you went ahead and asked the big one. Why is love greater than faith or hope? Let me break this down the only way I know how. Faith is powerful. Hope is necessary. But love is the heavyweight champion. Love is the one that walks in the room like it owns the place. Faith and hope are amazing, but they are like the warm-up act. Love is the headliner. Faith is believing something can happen. Hope is wanting it to happen. But love is the
Mhm.
reason you get up and make it happen. Love is the only one of the three that requires you to actually deal with people. And let us be honest, dealing with people is a full-time job with no benefits package. Faith can move mountains, but love will climb the mountain, drag you up with it, and still pack you a sandwich. Hope will keep you encouraged, but love will keep you fed, clothed, prayed for, and fussed at all in the same afternoon. Love is greater because faith and hope can stay in your head, but love has to show up in your actions. Love is hands-on. Love is messy. Love is loud. Love is inconvenient. Love is the reason you are still speaking to people who should have been blocked 3 years ago. Faith says I believe. Hope says I expect. But love says I am here. And that is why it is the greatest. Because faith and hope can exist without relationship. But love requires connection. Love requires sacrifice. Love requires patience. Love requires you to deal with somebody's attitude at 6 in the morning when you have not even had your coffee yet. And let us be real. Faith and hope do not make you wash dishes when you are tired. Faith and hope do not make you sit in a hospital room all night. Faith and hope do not make you forgive somebody who used the last roll of toilet paper and did not replace it. Only love does that. Love is greater because love is the only one that keeps working even when you are out of strength, out of answers, and out of patience. Love keeps going when faith is shaking and hope is tired. That is why the Bible said the greatest of these is love, because love is the one that stays.
Wow. Holy macaroni, spaghetti, and pasta vazole. KG has a way with words. Let's talk about some of those words that he mentioned in here. Faith is powerful. Hope is necessary, but love makes it happen. Faith believes it to happen. Hope wants it to happen. Love makes it happen. Love is the only one of the three where you have to deal with people. Faith will move mountains. Love will climb the mountain. The difference is in action. Love is more important because faith and hope stay in your head, where love is physical. Love is hands-on. Love is messy. Love is loud. Faith says, I believe. Hope says, I expect. Love says, I am here. Holy cow. That's great stuff, KG. Let's hear what you have to say. Carrie always wraps up the show and summarizes. Let's hear what he has to say.
And a way to kick off the show after spring break, we jump straight into the deep end talking about love, honesty, and why hiding your true self is the quickest way to turn a relationship into a crime scene investigation. In question one, we talked about how real love makes you an open book, not a neat, organized book either, more like a book that has been dropped in the bathtub, highlighted by three different people, and taped back together. Love gives you the courage to show your whole self, not the edited version. And when someone sees everything in you and still chooses you, that is the kind of love that can survive storms, foolishness, and even the way somebody chooses. Then in question two, we broke down why love is greater than faith or hope. Faith believes, hope expects, but love shows up. Love gets involved. Love rolls up its sleeves and gets messy. Faith and hope can stay in your head, but love has to live in your actions. Love is the only one of the three that will sit with you in the hospital, forgive you when you are wrong, and still cook you dinner even though you used the last roll of toilet paper and did not replace it. That is why love is the greatest. It stays when everything else gets tired. So as we wrap up today, here is the truth. Love is not perfect, but it is powerful. Love is not always pretty, but it is always worth it. Love is the only force strong enough to hold two imperfect people together and still make them better than they were alone. If you have someone in your life who sees everything in you and still chooses you, honor that, protect that, show up for that. Because love is not just something you feel, love is something you do. And if you are still waiting for that kind of love, do not lose heart. Faith will keep you believing, hope will keep you expecting, but love will find you when the time is right.
Keep believing. Keep expecting. Love finds you when the time is right. Wow. That's great stuff, KG. Thanks for another outstanding episode of Goode and Faithful Servant. As here on Coach's Corner, we try to inspire and educate, the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act. As you learned today, you have to do all three. Oh, wow. Good stuff, KG. I love you, buddy. Everybody have a great sports week. And thanks for watching Coach's Corner. We got coming up next Saturday, Bill Tate, Brian Piccolo's college coach, and he talks about Brian Piccolo and his relationship with Gail Sayers. You don't want to miss that coming up Saturday. Thanks for everybody. Stay tuned for these great messages. Without these sponsors, this just wouldn't be possible. So long, everyone. Bye-bye.
When it comes to buying your next car, truck, or SUV, you need a team that puts you first. Here at the Sandy Sansing dealerships, we're proud to serve Pensacola and the Gulf Coast with the best selection, trusted service, and deals that work for your family. Just like great coaches build great teams, Sandy Sansing builds lasting relationships with every customer who walks through our doors. Because when it comes to finding your next vehicle, there's only one name to remember. Sandy Sansing can.
For 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.
My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We self-fund for a living. Cordova Lanes is located at 2111 Airport Boulevard in Pensacola, behind Cordova Mall. Come on out and see us at Cordova Lanes Bowling Center. Thank you.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.